Okay, so we've talked about slope last week. Slope. And you watched like a little bitty video on slope. What can you tell me? Slope is what?
Rise over run.
It's rise over run.
Fall.
It also is like, when we talk about what does slope mean, it's the steepness of the line you're looking at. When a line is positive, what does it do from left to right?
Goes up.
Goes up. So when a line's positive, it goes up. And when a line's negative,
Goes down.
it goes down, like from left to right, goes down like that. If a slope is 0, what does that mean?
It means it's going horizontal.
Perfectly horizontal, which means perfectly flat. Slope is 0. And then the other slope we said when it was up and down, what did we say that was called?
Undefined.
Undefined. So you got your positive slopes, your negative slopes, your 0 slopes, and your undefined slopes. All right, on this particular objective, 77, you're going to have 2 points, and you're going to be asked to find the slope. Now, this first time, what I'm going to say is let's plot these points and just look at it. So what's the slope between -2, -3, and 5, -4? First, plot this. -2, -3. Where's that located at? -2. Yeah, how do I get there? I'll start here. Where do I go?
Back 2. Down 3.
So put a dot right there, and that is A. So put a dot there and call it A. So left 2 and down 3, and that is point A. That other point is 5, -4. So how do I get to 5, -4? Starting at the origin. 5, -4.
You go right 5.
Okay, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
Down 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot there and call it B at 5, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, 2. Okay, and that is B. And then you can connect a line through it so you can see that there is a line. And we want the slope. Go from the leftmost point, and we want to look at the slope. Now, is this going to be a positive or negative slope?
Negative.
Negative, because as you go from left to right, you are falling. So instead of doing rise over run, when it's negative slope, we say what over run? Fall over run. How much, to get from this point to that point, how much do I have to fall?
Down
Negative
1.
7.
How much do I have to fall?
1.
Down 1.
Fall 1. So I've got -1, and how much do I have to run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's -1 over 7. So what do we have that as an option? Okay. Fall 1, run 7, so it's -1 over 7. However, this is not the most practical way to find a slope, because if I start giving you points that are, the coordinates are bigger than 2's and 3's and 5's and 4's, if I said, hey, -22 and 13 and 57 and 43, you're not going to want to plot those because you're not going to have a graph big enough. So we're going to need to know how to do the slope formula. So for this next one, let's talk about doing it without graphing it and using the slope formula. So find the slope through 4, 2, -1, 8, and do it with the slope formula. So let's all put slope formula in the box. So you remember what slope formula was?
Y. X1 over Y. Y.
Which I heard some of it.
Y2 minus Y1.
Over X2 minus X1.
X2 minus X1. You look way over there on the board. It is in the top right corner on the other wall. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So when you're going to use the slope formula, the first thing you need to do is what?
Find your points. Or label your points.
Those are your points. So let's label our points. 4 and 2, what are those? Now if I'm labeling it, what is this?
X1 and Y1.
X1 and Y1. And then what's this? X2, Y2. Remember, each point is XY. So the first one's X1, Y1. Second one's X2, Y2. And then let's put our points into the formula. It's Y2 minus Y1. So what's Y2?
8.
8.
4.
Nope.
2.
8.
8 minus 2 over -1 minus 4.
Minus 2. And then X2 is -1
Negative 1
minus 4. 8 minus 2, -1 minus 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. -1 minus 4 is -5. So it comes out to be -6 fifths, which is Which way do you like better? Having a graph and plotting them, or using the slope formula? Slope formula.
Either way.
Well, when they're small, either way, yeah. But imagine if I said, hey, plot 55, 16. You're going to go, I don't want to plot 55, 16. We'll just put it in the slope formula and figure it out. Okay, I've got 4 on the back side. Now, some on the back side. Out of these 4, keep in mind, I'm going to have 1 0 slope and 1 undefined slope. So keep an eye open for them. All right, find the slope through these points. First thing we should do is what? Starts with an L.
Label.
Label. So this first, this -2 and -4 is what? X1, Y1, and then 6, 9 is X2, Y2. Our formula is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So, what's my Y2? 9, and I'm going to say 9 minus, but anytime you go 9 minus and it's already negative, it's 9 minus -4, so it's 9 plus 4. If you go back to your x1 and y1 and they're already negatived, so you're going to end up plussing. 9 minus -4 is 9 plus 4. What about on bottom? 6 plus 2. 6 minus -2, so it's 6 plus 2. And 9 plus 4 is 13 over 6 plus 2 is 8. And 13 over 8. Now, a reminder. What I would do, if you have the calculator in your hand,
This is typed into the calculator.
I would type it in and let the calculator do all the reducing. So you're looking at that right there. Start by hitting n over d. Up top, go 9 plus 4. And on bottom, go 6 plus 2. The advantage of putting it in the calculator, seeing it and put it in, is it's going to be completely reduced when you hit enter. 13 over 8. Now ours was reduced, but it will always reduce it to simplest form for you, so 13 over 8. So let's do this next one, straight up on the calculator. I'm going to hit n over d. So here we are. I'm going to hit n over d. Up top, what minus what or what plus what is going up top?
-1 minus 9.
-1 minus 9. -1 minus 9 over,
-1 minus -1
so -1
plus 1.
plus 1. Okay, I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to say error. Any clue why the calculator would say error?
I'm trying to divide by 0.
Yeah. Look what happens in the denominator. What's -1 plus 1? 0. Are you allowed to have zeros on bottoms of fractions? No. So divide by 0, error. What do you think this is going to be?
Undefined.
Undefined. Divide by 0, error is undefined. Here's another way that you can know it's going to be undefined. Look at your 2 points. x1, y1, x2, y2. Look at your x's. What can you tell me about x1 and x2? They're both negative what?
1.
They're both the same thing. They're both -1. If you plotted -1, 9, we would go left 1, up 9. If you plotted -1, -1, we'd go left 1, down 1. Those points would be on top of each other. So if you have the same x's, the points are going to be on top of each other, which is going to be why it's undefined.
So if it's underneath and it's 0, it's undefined?
Oh yeah, a 0 in the denominator is going to make it undefined. And you could also see it, if you ever see that you're going to have the same x's, they're going to be on top of each other, which is going to make them undefined. All right, let's look at the next one. I chose this one because there's lots of negatives in this one right here. Negatives all over the place. x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm hitting n over d. And what's my y2?
-6
-6 plus
plus 7.
7 over
-6 minus 8.
-6 minus 8. -6 plus 7 over -6 minus 8. It doesn't look like that any of those are going to make 0, so we should have an actual answer. -1 over 14. -1 over 14. Okay, and since I told you there's going to be an undefined and a 0, and this is our last one, this one's going to be 0. Let's put it in our calculator and look, and let's talk about why or how you might know without even doing it. What minus what up top?
4 minus 4.
4 minus 4, and
4 plus 6.
4 plus 6. So we go 4 minus 4 up top, 4 plus 6 on bottom. Think about why this might come out to be 0.
Because it's dividing by 0.
Well, it's divided by 10, but what's on top? If 0 on top, you can do 0 over 10, it's 0. You can't have 0 on bottom. So 0 on top will be 0. 0 on bottom will be undefined. And then just look at the points in general. What do they have the same? The x's or the y's? Y's. If the y's are the same, think about if you plotted this point, where would you go? Plot negative 6, 4, where would you go?
Down 6. Over 6.
Left 6, right? Go left 6 and then
Down. Up 4.
up 4. So left 6, up 4. And where's this other point going to be?
Right 4, up 4.
Up 4. They're both up 4. So they're going to both be at the same height, which makes them be a flat line. So if you've got the same y's, what's your slope going to be?
0.
0. If you've got the same x's, what's your slope going to be?
Undefined.
Undefined. And if any other case, put it into the formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then you'll get your slope. Okay, that is it for everything we have to talk about slopes. So go ahead and get started today.